Hi everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. Today is kind of a sad day. Yesterday there was a rally. President Trump was in Pennsylvania about 2 hours from here. There was an assassination attempt. I'm sure you guys have heard about this on the news. I cannot believe this is happening in America in 2024. He got off with a torn up ear. But I think there was a guy in the stands, a father, who got his head blown off in front of his wife and kids. So let that sink in. This isn't about politics anymore. It's just, I have no words. But we're going to keep moving forward and trying to do the best we can to improve this world by sharing knowledge and reducing hateful comments and rhetoric. So tomorrow Amazon Prime Days start, and we have a whole bunch of cool tools to talk about. Scanners, thermal cameras, jump starters. So let's get to it. So let's start with scanners. I have 7 scanners here that I want to quickly feature, so I won't name specific prices. I'll leave all the links down in the description. These will have a big discount on Amazon Prime if you have Prime the next 2 days. So ThinkTool Pros, this one is discontinued. I've used this scanner for years. I love it. It's my favorite. But there was an update that really made it annoying to use. I'll show you what I mean. So these three right here have the exact same form factor, same screen size, and this is my favorite hardware in terms of durability. Nice stand, small VCI, not like a big Bluetooth box that's annoying to carry around, because I want taking up less room but also be very rugged in the field. And these have the best battery life out of any scanner that I've tried. So ThinkTool Pros right now, the thing that I'm annoyed about is, for example, you go to European cars, they have all these cars listed, and I don't care about MAN or Lamborghini or Bentley. I just want the main ones that I work on to show up on the screen, like this, the way it used to be. For example, if I want to get rid of Bentley, Bugatti, and Lamborghini, all I have to do is go into Settings, Diagnostic Software Clear, Hide Software, and then Bentley, Bugatti, and Lamborghini, and just click Hide. And now if we go to Diagnosis, European, hey, they're not there. Very simple. That's the way it used to be. That's the way I want it. I want these screens clear for fast, easy access. You can't do that anymore. You can go to Settings, but the only thing they let you do, Diagnostic Software Clear, remove software or hide software. It's the same thing. It's not broken up by actual model. If you delete VW, it'll delete VW, whatever related to VW. This is like the main software, not the sub software. So that's not an improvement. So I'm annoyed with that. This is the ThinkTool Platinum S10, which is not available on Amazon. I got this a couple years ago as a backup, but now it's my primary scanner because it has the older software, and I keep it offline. You see the Wi-Fi is turned off. The updates have expired, but this works, and I'm going to keep it that way. The only other option here is the TOPDON Phoenix Plus. Again, same exact hardware. It even comes with a web browser if you need that. I don't use the web browser on my scanner. I have a laptop for that. But in this case, it's the latest update, it's also similar. You can't delete the software that, or hide the software that you're not going to use. So same annoyance, but at least, you know, I would recommend this if you're looking for a scanner of this size for everyday use, rugged, long battery life. Okay, now let's take a look at some of the other scanners. So all of these scanners have the launch software, which is amazing. Just small differences in how they're set up. Another scanner that's very similar that I've been linking in the description is a name brand launch X431 Pro 3S Plus version 2.0. So this is a name brand launch, not a TOPDON or a Think Tool. Same software, and you can do the software hide. So I have the screen set up just like I want. The battery life is a little less. It charges with a USB mini instead of a USB-C. The stand is a little smaller, but it's also a fantastic scanner. About same price range, so it's going to be well under $1,000 on Prime days. If you don't mind a smaller screen and the lack of a stand, same exact software, you can get the CRP 919 Bluetooth launch software, same exact stuff, just a smaller screen for under $500. This right here, I would say, is the best bang for the buck for capability. If you use a scanner every day professionally, you want the bigger screen to graph live data and everything else. But if you're a DIYer, this is phenomenal. This tool right here does everything that the bigger scanners do. Next in line, the Autel MK808 STS. The trump card here is it can do TPMS. It has a triggering device built in here. You can program Autel sensors. You can activate sensors on your car. You can read all of the IDs. You can relearn them. So that's primarily what I use the Autel for. And occasionally, if the launch software is missing something, I'll try the Autel just to see if it can fill in the gap. So this one should be under, around 600 bucks. So a little more expensive than this one, but for the TPMS capability, it's definitely worth it. Last but not least on the scanner list is the TOPDON TopScan. This little dongle is probably going to be on sale for like $60, and it interfaces with your smartphone, and it can do pretty much the same as the big scanners. It's unbelievable. You can do full health reports, scan all the modules, bidirectional controls. It's crazy. So, you know, people sometimes, when they make appointments, like, oh, you know, I don't have a scan, I need to make an appointment with my mechanic, because if they're out of state, I like to have a full health report sent to me before they bring the car over, just in case it's something silly and they don't need to, you know, full diagnosis. So when they say, I need to take my car to a mechanic, get a scan, or take it to AutoZone or whatever, I'm like, no, you don't need to do that whatsoever. Just go on Amazon, buy this TopScan by TOPDON for 60 bucks, use your smartphone and send me a PDF of the health report, and keep that thing in your glove box just in case any warning lights come on. Boom, plug it in, scan your car. That's a no-brainer. I mean, you might as well have this in your glove box along with a jump starter in your trunk. It's kind of mandatory these days. I mean, why not? So that's it for scanners. Let's move on to some other fun gadgets. So for thermal cameras, we have two from TOPDON. You've seen this one before, the TC-View, TC001. It's fantastic overall thermal camera. I use it for diagnostics pretty often. You know, decent resolution and a nice app. Take pictures, no problems at all. They just came out with the TC-View TS001, but this one has an adjustable focus. So that's a good thing, and it can also be kind of annoying if you want just a general overview because it only focuses on one distance. That's the whole point. So you'll get better resolution at a certain distance, but if you want to do like a overall view, which is usually what you're doing when diagnosing a vehicle, you want to see, hey, is there a hot spot somewhere? Without really zooming in on a fuse box. Sometimes you do, but this one's a little more expensive, and I've tried it out, but this one's more compact. I still love the TC001. Last thing, let's go to jump starters. Jump starters, again, something mandatory that everyone should have in their trunk. So many options out there online, and I've tried a lot of them. And obviously, I use the ones that really do work. I have a jump starter in my work truck. Whenever I come across a vehicle that's dead and I just want to crank it, hook up the boost pack. No need for jumper cables or chargers or anything like that. So let's go over these. First row here is the GOOLOO line. So this one right here, the GP4000, I've owned for about a year. I bought this myself, and on recommendation from Project Farm, that guy rated this the highest one, and he wasn't kidding. It's phenomenal. So you just get the simple little 4-bar life meter, and it has 89 watt-hours of reserve. The peak amps, they always overestimate a little bit. Very similar in capacity, or the same capacity, 89 watt-hours. This GOOLOO GT4000S. So, you might ask, what's the difference? Well, this one's a little more techy. It has a nice display of exactly how many % you have left, and for the actual jump cables, you don't have the little box like this. They just plug right in, and then you hold the boost button. It just 16 volts, no questions asked. So pretty neat. I mean, it does take up a little more space. You can see it is significantly fatter, and it only comes with kind of a vinyl bag instead of the older one, which has a nice case. So since I have limited space in my truck, I'm just gonna stick with this one. But this one's also a little upgraded, I guess, and it can charge your phone really fast, up to 100 watts supercharge. So that's the latest and greatest from GOOLOO. Almost the same price here, under $100, which is out of this world. So you can't go wrong with these two. Baby GOOLOO, I got this one because I want to try it out. I do some motorcycle trips in the summer. I don't feel like taking up half of my saddlebag, especially on something this small, with a giant or a bigger jump starter. I want something compact. So this thing is, less than half the size and half the capacity of the bigger GOOLOOs. So I want to try this out today on my old Mazda van here. Just disable the spark and fuel and just crank it and see how many times this little box can crank my Mazda van. So I'll do that a little later. And the last jump starter I want to mention is the TOPDON V2200 Plus. This one is actually it interfaces with your smartphone by Bluetooth and can tell you your state of health for your battery, your alternator charging current, your alternator ripple even. So I want to try that out on the van too. That's the last thing we're going to do. Alright, so here's the experiment. 1989 Mazda MPV. I have the ignition coil unplugged and the distributor pickup, so injectors and ignition coil will not fire. Now, I have the battery completely disconnected. We have the GOOLOO GP2000 hooked up to the positive terminal and the negative of the car. So the battery, pretend like it's not there. Like it's discharged, completely a brick. We're not even attempting to use the battery. So what I want to do is measure the voltage put out by this little box and the current. So 2 channels on the picoscope. The blue is the voltage and the red is current. 1 volt is going to be 100 amps. Picoscope's hooked up, amp clamp is turned on. So this little thing is fully charged. I made sure it was fully charged before doing this test. And all we do is click the boost button and look at that. 16 volts right now. So I'm going to crank it for 5 seconds a few times and we'll see how it cranks. Ready? Okay, so that was the 30-second cutout. And look at that. This little box maintained the voltage. Let's see, let's pause that. At 13 volts, and the amperage was on average 140 amps. So peak was almost 200 and then 140. So that was just one cranking attempt and you heard it cut off. So the boost works for 30 seconds and then it shuts off. That's basically a safety feature. So let's do this a few more times. Repeat this experiment, and after 5 times, like, did it get discharged at all? Well, we got 3 bars now. So that's one good crank. Let's do a few more. Alright, here we go again. Let's push the boost button. Back up to 16 volts. Just crank it from here. Okay, let's shut off. Let's do it one more time. We're still at 3 bars. Impressive. So nothing here is heating up. The cables might be a little warm. We can even use a thermal camera. So this little relay box, not even warm to the touch. So we're down to 2 bars. So that's 3 cranking attempts. Let's do another one. Boost that voltage right up to 16. That time it cut off in about 3 seconds. Okay, we're still at 2 bars. This is a real torture test. So that was attempt number 4. Attempt number 5. Telling you, this thing's amazing. Same amperage, same voltage. We're down to 2 bars. That was 5 cranking attempts. So the small jump pack, I think it's less than $60, is more than enough if you have a completely dead battery. You can crank your car more than 5 times, like long cranks. If it doesn't start by then, you have another problem. So this is the bare minimum to carry in your trunk. Amazing product. Next, let's try that TOPDON Bluetooth smart jump starter. TOPDON V2200 Plus is hooked up. Let's sync to it with the smartphone app. So it's called Jump Surge by TOPDON. There's battery test, cranking test, charging test, real-time voltage. Alright, so let's just... Please connect Bluetooth device first. Confirm. Okay. Jump Surge. So it's connected. I guess we have to update the app. I'll do that. Alright, so first let's just pretend you have a completely stone cold dead battery and you want to boost it. So we'll hit the boost button. We're up to over 16 volts. Cranks like a champ, and then it cut out. It's beeping. So it cranked for 1 to about 5 seconds. Well, actually about 3 seconds. So, okay. What if we reset it? It's really not happy. Oh my gosh. So, smart jump starters are sometimes, you know, too smart for their own good. So once that happens, it seems like you have to disconnect and reconnect the main. Well, this is a real world scenario here. The GOOLOO just kept on cranking and this one's fussing. So let's disconnect this, turn it off, reconnect it. It's still not happy. Okay, so I disconnected it, pressed the boost button. Now we should be back to 16 volts. No? It says boost. That's not going to work. Plugged in all the way. I mean, it's not putting anything out. Nothing. Even though the green light's on. Did I break it? Interesting. Alright, after another reset, we're back at 16 volts. Let's crank it for 5 seconds. So, that should be enough to get it started. But then you have to deal with this. Nothing's heating up too much here. So, unhook it there. Unhook it there. Plug it back in. Why is it fussing? What if we turn the key off like that? Okay, on. So you have to turn the key off after every crank. Okay, so it cut off and then cut back on. Interesting. Let's try again. Oh. Nope. That's not happy. You got to reset it every single time, which is kind of a pain, but not that big of a deal. So last cranking attempt. Back up to 16. I mean, that cranks faster than with a regular battery. These jump starters are amazing. Now let's sync it with the phone and do those alternator tests. Okay, so jump starter's hooked up, and I got the app open. Real-time voltage is showing you right here, very handy, 13.2 volts. So let's do all these tests all at once. So number one is battery test. Checks the health of the battery. Test results include cold cranking amp, state of health, Connect the red clamp. Okay, next. It's just regular cold cranking amps and battery value. Well, what is this thing? It looks like 650 cold cranking amps. Okay, so let's say 650. Next. State of health 82%, state of charge 100%, test value 589. Oh, pretty nice. Okay, this battery's like, I don't know, at least 5 years old, so it's doing great. Next, let's do the cranking test. Okay. Turn off all accessories, start the vehicle. So everything's connected, ignition coil, all that. Let's just fire it up. Must have been a little confused after the there we go. Okay. No, I'm supposed to press confirm. Try again, and yes. Okay, so there you go. It just measures the real-time voltage. It graphs it for you, which is neat. 9.8, 10.4, cranking voltage 10.38, cranking time less than 1 second. So you can print that. Let's do charging test. Start vehicle, turn off all electronics, turn on all electronics. Let's do fan, defog, all the good stuff. Next, turn off all accessories, start the vehicle, off, 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 confirm. I guess it walks you step by step here. So increase to 2,500 RPM. Confirm. Next, turn on all the accessories. Not too many accessories, but confirm. .5, unloaded, loaded, everything's great. Ripple, 99 millivolts. Fantastic. Charging, nothing wrong with the charging system on this Mazda. Real-time voltage. You can even graph your real-time voltage there. You turn off the headlights, turn off the fan. 14.2 volts, nothing wrong with that. So pretty neat. That's all I wanted to share for Amazon Prime Days. These jump starters, they just blow my mind. Even the small one is more than enough to start your completely dead stone cold battery, which is really impressive. So get one of those, get the TOPDON TopScan bare minimum, and the other scanners and the thermal cameras are pretty neat. So we'll see you in the next one. Enjoy shopping. Oh, almost forgot, a little bonus footage. Wanted to mention this bad boy, the REVVSTARK 1/2 inch impact gun. It's under $100, and it has basically as much power as this huge heavy-duty earthquake from Harbor Freight. It's literally half the weight and half the size, and puts out just about as much torque. I mean, lug nuts, axle nuts I've taken off of this thing. Really impressive. Check that out for your shop.